Hello and welcome to another one of A Demonic's reviews slash gaming news. Today's topic is going to be on The Last of Us 2 and how that was initially supposedly leaked out to be in the makings, and necessarily how Naughty Dog and they're wanting to, and not necessarily they're wanting to, but something they looked into was to making the game with new characters versus having Joel and Ellie. And just initially, this is a video on my intake on both. If they necessarily made The Last of Us 2 with new characters or continue on from Joel, necessarily a short video. But even when the PlayStation 3 was, even after the PlayStation 3 version of The Last of Us was made and everything like that, they did get some feedback from a few sources, not necessarily like a few sources, but like consumers, of course gaming news and stuff like that, on if they were necessarily going to make a Last of Us 2. And at that time they came out and said, like, in a small review, that hey, we would totally love to make The Last of Us 2, but we necessarily want to make it to have the right story, because as you can tell with The Last of Us, they did go ahead and put their put time and effort into making a good story, and they want to continue that with making The Last of Us 2. So even back then, even if they weren't really making characters and the gaming the world itself for features like that for The Last of Us 2, they were probably slowly working on making The Last of Us 2 with having a small group of people try to build a story of what The Last of Us 2 would be and who would be in it. So even then, I can tell, like, we were going to get The Last of Us 2 eventually. When it's going to be, I have no idea. None of that was really released. It was just kind of one person kind of just outspoke and said something that could be taken, which was taken as, hey, look, they're making The Last of Us 2. But would it being either with Joel and Ellie and continue on from like their story, or with new characters, I honestly am fine with both of them. If they continue on Joel and Ellie, that'd be kind of cool. With Ellie being an older person, more experienced with the infected and everything like that in that world, I can once again totally see that playing out. I can also see it if they weren't able to capture a good as good of a story as they would have if they just made new characters specifically for the game and everything like that. I can see them working both ways. What I necessarily would prefer was if they continue on with Joel and Ellie with their story and everything like that, because there's a few things that I'm sure there was a few things that could be said more about those two that wasn't necessarily told in The Last of Us. But at the same time, another thing they can end up doing is they can have like a combination of both. If they had some type of game where you would switch from playing as Joel and or Ellie to playing with others or something like that. So technically they could go either way. They can have a combination of both with telling The Last of Us 2, and I'm totally fine with with either one, because Naughty Dog took like their pride and everything like that with making The Last of Us. I do apologize, still a little bit sick. Even like back in when the game was being developed, because when they gave like the release date for the PlayStation 3 for The Last of Us, they naturally, before the game came out, there was word of the PS4, blah 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 blah, and they wanted to naturally make the game for the PS4. So naturally, that's why I wasn't surprised why there was the PS4 version of The Last of Us, because originally what they wanted to do is they wanted to delay the game for being on the PS3 to be released as, I believe, a release title for the PS4, but they didn't want to disappoint their fans or anything like that, so they were necessarily going to go with releasing on the PS3. And then of course, as soon as they finished with the PS3 version, I believe they almost immediately started working on the PlayStation 4 version. Unfortunately, I don't have a link of that, because once again, I was back when the PS3 is being made. Not necessarily PS3, when The Last of Us for the PS3 was being made. It was something I've read shortly after it was released. So that's once again like a year ago. So finding that isn't going to happen. So I do apologize for that. But ever since then, so that's why I wasn't actually surprised with PS4 release. But all in all, the end result is I'm totally 100% fine with Naughty Dog and what they're doing with the Last of Us. If they make a Last of Us 2, you're damn well gonna put their love, blood, and soul into that and making it a good game, a good story. Hopefully, have a great multiplayer like they did with The Last of Us. Rather, that's what Joel, Ellie, new characters, or a combination of both. Once again, I'm totally fine with because I know they're gonna tell that great story. But that necessarily was my intake on that, revolving, The Last of Us, The Last of Us 2, new characters, Joel and Ellie. I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you necessarily want to follow the Twitch, the Twitter, or anything like that, that will definitely be in the description below, along with the article from Games Radar on their intake on The Last of Us 2, which goes on more into what was said between the two and everything like that. But other than that, until the next gaming news or next time you see me on stream or anything like that, I do want to thank you for watching, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day.